Good
Good
morning! Today we're gonna talk about
hip external rotators, Q angles, hip strength, and hip mobility of female street dancers. So hello, my name is Keith Romeo Lucas. I am 4th year Bachelor of Sports Science, member of the UP Men's Volleyball team. I'm also in organizations UP Soma, UP Philosoph, and UP Pre-Med Society. And I believe in the saying of that, there's more to life than love.
Hi, I'm Tatiana Escota, Bachelor of Sports Science, 4th year, member of the UP Street Dance Club. I'm also part of the UP Soma, and I believe in the saying of that in every hardship, there's a fruitful labor.
So abstract, Q angles, hip strength, and mobility state the chances of being susceptible to knee injury among the female street dancers. So overview ng study namin is about how Q angles, hip strength, and hip mobility can be improved by doing external hip rotation exercises to decrease the probability of getting injured.
So for the introduction, street dance started as instinctive dance that evolved into social dance and competitive dance. When we say instinctive dance, ito yung mga routines na ginagawa natin on a daily basis na naging dance. However, yung social dance naman, ito yung mga dances na we use to socialize to other people, and competitive dance is dances that we use to compete against each other. So yung area ng street dance na to, it opened the opportunity for female to be in a competitive area. Years before, hindi ko na-consider yung women to be part of the sport and more of like supporters lang. However, since yung street dance ka, nag-start naman siya as instinctive dance, nawala yung barrier na yon, and yung demands of dancing to women requires more power and speed. So, pupunta tayo sa problem na...
Women in general have higher risk than male due to anatomical differences. So female have narrower femoral notch, meaning mas mataas yung Q angle, mas inadequate yung hip strength at yung hip mobility. Ever since naman na pinanganak tayo, mapapansin naman yung difference natin sa mga babae tayo mga lalaki, di ba? So, yung mga women, mas malaki yung hips nila, sa men naman, mas malaki yung shoulders natin.
For our research questions, we have 3 questions we prepared. Question number 1. Does improving Q angles of female street dancer have a significance in the percentage of the risk of dancers getting injured? Question number 2. Does improving the flexibility and hip mobility of the female street dancer have a significance in the percentage of the risk of dancers getting injured? And question number 3. Does strengthening the hip external rotators mobility of the female street dancers have a significance in the percentage of the risk of dancers getting injured?
So, sa research hypothesis naman, hip mobility and strengthening programs can help improve Q angle. Next is hip strengthening can help improve the strength of the hip external rotators. Hip mobility program can improve the mobility of the hip external rotators. And lastly, improving Q angles, hip strength and mobility lower the risk of knee injury.
So for the main variables, meron lang kaming dalawang main variables. Number 1 is the Q angle itself. Number 2 is yung hip external rotators in terms of strength and mobility.
So sa methodology naman, meron kaming kinuhang 10 college female athletes na part ng UP Street Dance Club. Tapos dinivide namin sila sa dalawang groups, yung control group, tapos yung experimental group.
So for the methodology of measure, meron kaming perform na 3 tests. First, refer to the first picture, which is the Q angles. Yung Q angles na yan, mineasure namin yan for the pre-test and for the post-test. For the hip mobility, please refer to the third picture. So yung hip mobility, minimeasure kung gaano ka-flexible yung hips mo at a given moment, whether it's the pre-test or the post-test. For the hip strength naman, please refer to the second picture. Minimeasure niya kung gaano kalakas yung hips mo at a given moment.
So sa intervention naman, binigyan namin ng experimental group ng 3 exercises na gagawin nila for 5 days straight. Una yung lateral steps, pangalawa ay standing clamshell, at pangatlo ang squats. Lahat ng exercises na ito ay merong mga resistance bands at gagawin nila ng 2 sets na merong 10 repetitions na meron ding 10 seconds na interval.
For the scope and limitations, of course, limited yung research namin to improvement of the experimental group only. There would be instances na pwede magka-improve yung controlled group, pero our study is beyond that already. Second is limited to the angles of the data. Angles were taken during the intervention and during the process of the study. So other factors such as body structure, body composition are beyond our study as well. For the last is limited to the effects of the 5-day intervention only. Though may mga effects na pwedeng mag-exceed after 5 days, though may mga effects na hindi makakapag-exceed ng 5 days, but our research focused on the 5-day intervention only and yung effects nun sa improvement ng mga participants.
So, sa research instruments naman, ang main instrument na ginamit namin sa study namin ay ang Kinovea. Kinovea is a video analysis software dedicated to sport. It can slow down the motion, study and comment the technique of the athletes while using the software. Using this kind of software, we can improve an athlete's action and movement by looking at the sequence of joint and limb movements so that changes can be made to be appropriate for the players. Next is statistical analysis. After natin kunin yung pre-test at post-test ng mga participants sa tatlong measures na ginawa natin after ng 5 days ng intervention, ay lahat ng result na makukuha natin ay ilalagay sa Microsoft Excel na kung saan i-evaluate natin yung figures at i-compare natin yung mga pre-test at post-test ng mga controlled group at yung experimental group. So, yung unang measure na i-compare natin ay yung Q angles. Naka-table siya. Yung sa taas ay yung mga control group at yung mga experimental group ay yung mga nasa ibaba. Kung makikita natin yung pre-test ng control group ay meron silang 5.8 average and after 5 days ng walang intervention ay nag-improve siya to 7.2 sa left hip. Sa right hip naman nila ay merong 6.2 na pre-test and nagkaroon sila ng 6 na average after nung 5 days na walang intervention. Sa experimental group naman, makikita natin yung gradual na improvement sa kanilang Q angles. Makikita na bawat isa sa kanila ay merong improved angle ng Q angles. From 6.2 na average, meron silang 9 na average after ng 5 days intervention. And sa right hip naman, makikita natin na from 6.2 na average, nagkaroon sila ng 10.8 na average after nung 5 days na intervention. So makikita natin yung difference na to, meron silang 4.6 na difference after ng intervention. Next is yung mobility naman. Makikita natin sa left hip mobility ng control group, meron silang 75.6 na average. At after ng 5 days na walang intervention, makikita natin na bumaba yung average nila. Siguro merong kinalaman ito sa external factors kaya bumaba or depende na sa activities na ginagawa nila outside our study. So, sa right hip mobility naman ng mga control group, from 77.8 naging 64.6. After nung 5 days na walang intervention, nakita din natin na nag-decrease yung average ng right hip mobility nila. From 77.8 naging 64.6. So, sa experimental group naman, makikita natin na tumaas yung average ng pre-test to post-test. Masasabi natin na dahil dun sa 5 days na intervention ay nagkaroon ng 10.4, almost 10.4 na difference sa average sa left hip mobility. Sa right hip mobility naman, makikita natin na meron 9 na difference sa average sa pre-test at post-test ng mga experimental group. Next is yung strength. So, sa left hip strength, makikita natin na nag-improve ng onte yung controlled variable. From 16.8 na average, naging 18 yung average nila after nung break nila. So, sa right hip naman, nag-improve din. Sabi ko nga kanina, siguro may kinalaman yung external factors or activities na nagpa-improve sa strength ng hips nila. So, sa controlled, naging 13.2, naging 16.4 yung average nila. And lastly, yung experimental group, makikita natin yung sobrang pag-angat ng average difference ng pre-test to post-test from 24.4 naging 38.2. Meron silang 14 na difference after ng 5 days intervention. Lastly, yung right hip strength, makikita natin na nag-improve din ang average nila from 27.8 naging 34 na average. So, pwede natin sabihin na effective yung 5 days na intervention na may 3 exercises given.
So for our recommendations, recommendation number 1, it is highly recommended for deeper understanding of the two factors, which is the body composition and structure. As said kanina, limited lang yung study namin dun sa angles na nakuha namin through the process. However, if gusto ng isang individual na magkaroon ng deeper understanding na relatable din sa research namin, I suggest na you also consider the factor which is the body composition and the structure. Recommendation number 2, it is recommended that further days of intervention shall be applied to athletes. Of course, for more days and for more significant effects, it is recommended na gawin yung intervention longer compared to 5 days lang. Lastly, for the recommendation number 3, UP Street Dance Club should incorporate exercises that activates and strengthen hip external rotators. As said by Keith kanina, na there were really great results from the intervention that we did na 5 days lang. So what if more than 5 days pa? How much more could it improve an athlete? So for the practical applications, coaches and athletes, especially of the UPSDC group, should strengthen and activate their hip external rotators. Exactly, sila yung group na inaral namin. So it is recommended talaga sa kanila na gawin nila yon kasi nga, yung percentage na injury could lessen more kapag ginawa nila yon lagi. Exercise may be applied during trainings. This doesn't have to be every day naman, as long as may training sila, and especially guarded sila ng coaches nila and other CHK majors na makatulong sa kanila sa forms nila, then that would be better as well. Of course, resistance bands are also of good use for the beginner. Actually, resistance bands more of correcting the form and knowing the proper form in doing the exercise. So with resistance bands, meron ng resistance and at the same time, kino-correct pa niya yung form niya, especially for those people na hindi talaga nila kaya yung correct form due to maybe walang background or walang educational study beyond it. So thank you! Once again, I am Tati.
I am Keith.
And thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you!